Welcome back to part 3 of the Dainichi Project. In part 1 and part 2, which if you missed them, links are available in the description below. We looked at the project overall, then 3 particular Showa from the pond. In part 2 we looked at 3 particular Kohaku as well, of slightly different styles. In part 3 today we're going to look at 3 pieces which are 3 of my absolute favourite from the pond, to be honest. 3 of the sort of top results as well. Now we did have a question on, I think it was part 1, relating to the stars on the certificate, the star rating. Now this is a system used by the farm basically for them to just express their feelings towards the fish, their feeling towards the quality. In general, yes, I do agree with most of what I see. If I'm scanning through, generally not paying attention to that, pick out a fish, and more often than not it's going to be in them, the standout fish on the page is going to be in that higher star rating category, certainly of the 4 and the 5 stars. That's not to say the fish at 3 stars or even no stars on there are not any good. You know, this is Dainichi Koi Farm, one of the best in the world. There's a particular Kohaku we looked at in part 2, which is a no star fish, and it's absolutely incredible, the quality of it. I don't think anybody could argue with that. So yeah, it's just a method they use. Ultimately, would I say it's a sales tool? Probably yes. If you've got somebody who's not really paying attention to the fish, just looking at the stars, it could lead them astray a little bit. Not every fish marked with 4 or 5 stars is perfect. 5 stars more so, but the 3 and 4 stuff, there's still fish in there with problems, that aren't perfect, certainly sort of body issues you have to look out for. So when I'm looking myself, I always just pay attention to the fish. It's the only thing I'm looking at. Ignore what's there. The stars can probably give me an indication of where the price might lead, because ultimately, yes, the ones with the higher star ratings do go for substantially more money most of the time. So I hope that sort of clears that up in case anybody else was thinking about it. So yeah, what we've got today, we've got this Showa from MonaLisa lineage. Really superb fish. It's the body won me over from day one with this one, to be fair. Really exciting. It's 31 cm from the date of the certificate. This is looking pretty big now. Then we've got a Kohaku from Dragon again. This was 34 cm when it arrived. Now this, I believe, thinking back, was the bigger fish at the time as well, one of the biggest I had arrive. Became pretty dominant, to be honest with you, pretty quickly at feeding time. It currently is the biggest of the whole batch, so yeah, look forward to seeing that. And then this Kohaku from DSKohaku lineage. I mean, wow, everything, it sort of ticks most boxes, this fish. Body wise, it's looking superb, incredibly powerful. I could sort of see that in the bone structure from early doors, but the benny quality is just incredible. Coupled with the pattern it's got and how that's now sitting on the bigger body, you're gonna be really impressed with that one. So that's enough about them. We'll jump straight into having a look at them closer up and seeing the results. Right, I think we'll probably start with wow, to be honest with this one. Was a standout fish when I bought it, no two ways about that, and it's certainly living up to the hype as it's progressed. So this is from DSKohaku lineage. It arrived at 30 cm on the 21st of June. It was 900 grams and 36 cm. So right now we are coming in at 51 cm on that one. And it's actually weighed in at 3 kilos. That's been the most, well, the biggest gain so far by a distance, to be honest with you. And yeah, what is it to say about this one, really? I think the fish pretty much does all the talking. We look at the body setup again. I mean, so much power, so much of everything going on with that fish. The head is huge. We can see that trait there again, huge mouth, huge head. Really then carrying up, you know, huge height on the body when we look from the sort of side. Incredible height there again. Really coming up to a really prominent, I mean, look at that backbone there, the size of and prominence of it as well. It's phenomenal. Carries through really well, a lot of power in the peduncle and size there again. Just what a fish. Skin quality, I mean, the skin, this almost looks Deutz. You know, the luster, the quality of the Benny, everything is just so good. The shine, phenomenal fish. Benny's in good condition as well generally. So again, we're showing some early signs of Fuka in progression there, which is really nice. But I think the biggest thing with this one and what carries the biggest impact, to be honest with you, is pattern. You know, not something to talk about lots. I think, you know, it's really important to drum home the importance of them other qualities, but we have seen, you know, throughout, you know, with the fish we've looked at so far, all the qualities are pretty consistent. So, you know, to make the real standout fish, it is coming down to pattern. And if we look at the elements and flow of this one, you know, lovely head pattern. We've got a bit of an Inazuma kind of lightning strike vibe carrying there. Nice little white break before we get to the Benny at the peduncle, which just finishes that off really nicely. Such a pleasing fish. Sash is incredibly refined throughout the whole fish, you know, already really prominent, looking superb, and so too is the Kiwa as well. There's one little area where I'm not 100% happy, you know, just a couple of scales down here, lost a little bit of condition, which is, you know, that can happen further down the fish as well. It could be, you know, sort of light getting to it, or a couple of scales that just suffered. Pretty confident that that's just going to we're going to get that tidied up, so it's not a real concern for me coming out of the growing season. But what a fish, what a fish. See, with the sashi, the two areas sort of there and there, and a little bit here, so it's got a consistent depth for that last bit of refinement. And yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to stay next year and be grown further. I think one thing to be quite honest about is this fish was growing midsummer. I was actually concerned the body was a little bit too short, but this can be normal with such powerful body frames, that they grow in phases like that, where everything looks a little bit too much, bit too powerful, and then as they get older you sort of lose some of that as they get more length in the body. And to be honest with you, even from midsummer to now, that's what I've seen happening with this fish. You know, it's sort of progressing, getting more of the length in there, and yeah, just looking superb. So can't wait to see what we can do with that one moving forwards, and where we can take it. I'd be hoping to realistically achieve, you know, 63 to sort of 65 cm next season as it's hitting Sansai, and at that point this is going to look at an absolute picture. So yeah, exciting, really happy with that. So right, here I can't stop even grinning for this one. Here we've got a result that really, honestly, one fish makes the whole thing worth it, to be honest. Wow, it's MonaLisa lineage show of that, so it's become one of my favourite lineages so far for the Dainichi Showa. Wow. It turned up at 31 cm. On the 21st of June, we had this at 39 cm and 1.15 kilos. Now today, we're looking at 55 cm, and this actually weighs in at 3.8 kilos. Phenomenal. So just while it's fresh sort of in my mind, you know, this is where there's a few things here to sort of consider when we've got a result like this. I mean, this to me, the reason I'm so pleased is this is Japanese quality, Japanese standard mud pond raising being done in a 3,500 gallon pond here in the UK. with stocking levels that just do not compare. Japanese lazing is right down to the body volume, the skin quality, condition, absolutely everything. So personally, that's why I'm so delighted. In a pond where we will see there's some mixed sort of results from a size perspective, a fish like this is part of that reason. While some of the fish will be suppressed and not manage to grow as big, because no doubt this fish has got to this size for a reason. It's going to have been pretty prominent there at feeding time. So, I mean, yeah, again, we're going to start on the usual. Just look at the body form. This is Dainichi Showa in a nutshell. It's just incredible. The head size, the power here carrying right through to such a thick peduncle. I mean, what a fish. It really is exceptional. The power we can see here, sticking out of the bowl, the size and power and prominence of the backbone, and how far away it is from the head. It's just insane. Yeah, again, we can see the usual skin quality traits. Excellent Benny. Sumi is progressing. We've got some mixed results, or mixed sort of progression more than anything. We can see the sort of standard here that's coming through. Really see it there just behind the head. Look, absolutely ink black. It's stunning. Some other signs we're seeing the early signs of. I've noticed this just recently. We've got the Motogoro starting to form nicely in this pectoral fin. Just there. Not sure if we've got any signs here yet, but I'm not concerned about that. Nothing quite yet, but we can see it quite in the base. So that's quite a reassuring sign. Really nice, sort of refined Marizomi Kiwa featuring throughout the fish. Yeah, just wow, blown away with that one. Absolutely no doubt that I'll be keeping this fish to raise further next year, because I really think I can do a lot with this one. And it's not the end of the story for it. I think the bit I really want to talk about now is the pattern and what people are possibly seeing in this. Now, Showa for me are all about the balance of three colours. With this fish, the traditional sort of teachings, especially here in the UK, is Showa must have a good Kohaku pattern. I'm going to be blunt about it. It's a complete and utter load of bollocks. You just do not need Showa, that have got a solid Kohaku pattern underneath. It's about the balance of the three colours. With this fish, when we get this Sumi progression, eventually where we can see it all up here, this actually solidifies and becomes solid Sumi. There's just a tiny bit there which to the eye you're not going to really pay any attention to what's happening with the Beni pattern underneath. All you're going to see is this incredible flow of Sumi, Beni and Shiroji across the fish. There's countless ends of top Showa from Japan recently we've seen winning top honours, that if you looked at them as Nisai or Tosai, there is no Kohaku pattern there. Half of the time there's barely any Beni pattern, so it's just not something you need to be looking for. If that is something you've learnt and been taught, you need to get it out of your head, because it's going to be stopping you from buying really top class Showa that can become top class Showa, certainly if you're buying them younger, because it's just not what the variety is about in the slightest. So yeah, I think like I say, when we see what's happening with this, looking at the Sumi pattern, I mean, wow, we can see a great flow. This here is an area of Shiroji. It's always going to stay that way. There'll be no Sumi there. This style of Sumi with Dainichi is pretty stable and pretty predictable as well. So we're not going to get loads of Sumi come up in areas where we can't necessarily see it already. It's just the areas where we can, that's what we're working with, and we just need it to come from deeper in the skin and get up to the surface and form this incredible inky black luster that it's capable of doing. So yeah, again, what a fish. Incredible weight gain, testament to the lineage, to the food, to what I've done with them this year. Yeah, certainly a fish you're going to be able to follow next year as it goes through another season, and let's see what we can do with this one. So here we've got the last Kohaku for today from the dragon lineage. It's always been one of the biggest fish. This one came at 34 cm on the 21st of June, 1.2 kilos and 41 cm. She just measured in at 3.75 kilos and 55 cm again with this one. And yeah, I mean, pretty much same kind of thoughts as with the Showa with this one. Body is just incredible. You know, we've got Japanese standards sort of mud pond raising from this again. Huge body volume, really impressive. Great skin condition with this one. The Shiroji is actually kept really clean all along. Definite female fish. I've known that for a long time, just from the sheer way it carries the weight and how the skins look, to be honest with you. But yeah, what a fish. Skin quality, interestingly, on this one, the benny's kept a lot softer. Again, one of the reasons why I thought early doors it could be female. It's a lot softer in its hue at the minute, though there's still plenty of pigmentation in them scales, so that intensity is really going to come. Looking great, really nice skin luster again. Pattern on this fish is really pleasing. You know, we've got 5-step pattern there, really well balanced, sat nicely across the body, just enough in there. Bit of odame carries really well, which will become slightly more prominent as that gets bigger. Kiwa's looking good on most of the fish. We can see the marizome starting to form. A bit of a scale here gone astray, which I'm sure will rectify as winter sort of really sets in. Same again here, look, just needs to fill out with pigment in the scale. So yeah, really great piece. You see that body, that impression, it's just superb. Great result. Really happy to again have such a result from being raised in such a small environment. Really done nothing special with the water, you know, it's just the standard water that comes out of the mains. I work with what I've got and get the best from it, really. So yeah, again, just want to point to one of them things that you might be looking at. Yes, there is some benny in this pec fin right there in the knuckle. Again, do I really care? No, I don't. Overall, just absolutely super fish. That bit of benny in that fin sits right in the knuckle. It's not like it's fully into the fin and really distracting you away. If it was, to be honest with you, that would put me off. But in this case, as that gets bigger, it's just going to sit deeper in the muscle and not really be that prominent. So yeah, what a fish. We're going to be very interested to see what can be achieved with this one next year. 65 cm will be the bare minimum I expect to achieve with that. So yeah, stay tuned and watch this space. Let's see what happens. I think probably the last thing to look at is the sashi across the shoulder here. We can see that the sort of pink edging, you know, that is quite prominent, quite deep, but it's consistently the same down every part of the body there. So that doesn't concern me in the slightest. The really intense benny tends to carry a thicker sashi when the fish are younger, and that will refine, contract and tidy up as that fish matures and reaches adulthood. The only time, you know, areas like that do concern me is if it's an isolated patch that's a lot deeper, but we haven't got that with this fish. It's consistent everywhere. So yeah, great piece. Let's see what the future brings. So that's been three of the top sort of examples. There's still more of this standard to come out of the pond. In our next video, part 4, we're going to be looking at some of the Ginrin fish in the pond, which I'm really keen to show you. But for now, that's been them. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm absolutely thrilled with the results from you know, these particular fish and the others so far. If you've enjoyed it, please hit like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the fish, and subscribe to get notifications when the next ones are ready. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon.